Thank you for watching Saturday Kickoff, a Divisional Round edition. My name is Fidel Barraza, alongside with me, Jerry Martinez, Isaac Durham, Walter Stringer, and Kendall Whitley. How's everyone?
Great, ready for another Saturday full of football. Only two games though this week, but that's good enough.
Man, it's crazy how the season's already coming to an end. I mean, by the time we know it's
Right.
already gonna be the Super Bowl. So yeah, we gotta cherish this, cherish this day, right? Embrace it. We're gonna have a new AFC NFC championship coming in the coming week.
Yes, and of course, this show is presented by Grand Lighthouse Coffee. Make sure to go to grandlighthousecoffee.com and use promo code EastWest to get 10% off your purchase. And also Grand Leyenda Tequila. For more information on the best organic tequila around, make sure you go to grandleyenda.com, the official tequila of the East West Football Network. All right, guys. So we have two games today. We have the Rams at the Packers, and then we have the Ravens at the Bills. That will be tonight's game. But first, let's recap last weekend, Super Wildcard Weekend. Let me get your thoughts on it. Start off with Jerry.
Man, that Bills Colts matchup, that was a little bit closer than what I was expecting. But it just shows you, right? I mean, I've been saying it pretty much all week. Uh, it's just one of those mental blocks that Josh Allen maybe perhaps needed to get off his back, right? Because last year they went to Houston and they lost, and this year they're able to shake that off and get focused. And I think they're coming in with some momentum here. Also, when you look at it, wow, the Browns, are they for real? I mean, they're gonna face off against the best team in the league with the Chiefs, and dang, I mean, just looking at it, football is always exciting. But overall, I can't. I'm really looking forward to the Buccaneers also.
Isaac.
Yeah, the Browns did look legit last week, but the Steelers also look like the Steelers we'd seen in recent weeks. That team was already dead going into that game. They finished the season 1-5 in the last six. But it was surprising, to see Cleveland up 28-0 in the first quarter right off the bat. Credit to Kendall and his Ravens pick. Lamar looked good after a shaky, first quarter. I was surprised.
Isaac, don't let him get big headed.
He's already
Wait till you hear his picks today. Then.
Hey, I'm just giving him a little credit. I mean, he did good on his birthday.
I appreciate it, Isaac.
Yep,
and he's been gloating since yesterday, dude. Like with the guest that we had on Friday.
Right.
But the Bears game, I'm not shocked by that. They got dismantled by the Saints, and I mean, I guess way to score at the end, Jimmy Graham against your former team. But that was an ugly game. That was the worst matchup to watch all weekend. And then, my Bears decided to keep nagging pace anyway, so we'll see.
We had this conversation. Do you really want them to win?
And look, they didn't even win, and they're still coming back from another season.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Well, I don't know about Mitch Trubisky, but
not Mitch. He won't be back. But
that's what I'm saying. That's like one of the biggest pieces right there.
Yeah, Walter, let me get your thoughts on Wildcard Weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's playoff football, and we can go back to even regular season football. It always comes down to coaching, running the football, and who makes less mistakes. And if we look at the Colts-Bills game last week, we talked about it last week. They played well enough to win. I just think they just made too many mistakes in the coaching areas. And you can look at even the other games. Look at Seattle. Sean McVay just completely, in my opinion, outcoached Pete Carroll. When they were able to also run the football. Seattle was also able to run the football on them, which is something I will comment on once we decide to touch on that Packers-Rams game. But whoever has the cleanest coaching going on and makes the least mistakes, typically wins in the playoffs. And we saw that, for example, last week.
Kendall.
Man, what stood out to me is the dominance of the Rams defense. I mean, we know Jared Goff and Aaron Donald, they weren't the healthiest in the game. They got banged up in the game. Aaron Donald got banged up, Jared Goff wasn't healthy going into the game. But that Rams defense, you see what they did to Russell Wilson, that Seattle's offense, just straight dominance. And I think they're going to carry it over to this week, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
All right, guys. So let's go ahead and start off by talking about the first game of the day, Rams at Packers. Isaac, what's the line on the game?
Packers are favored by 7 now. They were favored by 6.5 yesterday. The line moved today. The over-under is 45.5 points. The Packers are 6-2 against the spread in their last 8 playoff games, and the Rams have failed to cover in 6 straight games against Green Bay.
Jerry, what do you think?
I like my odds, man. I'm gonna go over, man. Over 7 points in this game. Packers.
So it would actually be the under or over would be 45.5 points combined, and then the Packers to cover the spread they would have to win by 7 points.
Yes.
All right, Isaac.
Yeah, I'm sticking with that as well. I think the Packers can easily win this game by 2 scores. I mean, we all know that the Rams have one of the best defenses in the league right now. I think they are a great matchup for Green Bay. They have great secondary that causes a lot of turnovers. They have a stout defensive front who can get to Rodgers in a hurry. That Bakatari injury is going to – I mean, we'll see that today. I think the Rams will get to Rodgers a couple times. But Green Bay's done a really good job this season at protecting him. I think the big matchup is Jalen Ramsey against Devontae Adams. I think that's going to be a battle. But I think Green Bay's offense is just too much. There's a reason why they lead the league in points this season. They have a well-balanced offense that can run and pass the ball. And that's how you exploit this Rams defense. And, you know, they have the likely MVP in Aaron Rodgers as well on that side. And the way you beat the Packers is by running the ball down their throat, dominating the time of possession, and winning the turnover battle. I think the Rams have the pieces to do that, but trusting a rookie running back in Cam Akers, even though he's been balling out, and a guy that just had thumb surgery a few weeks ago, it's hard to put a lot of trust into those guys. So the game's also going to be cold and snowy. Jared Goff is 0-2 in games he's played in below freezing weather in his career with 0 passing touchdowns and 5 picks. So the combination of cold weather, the addition of 6,000 fans in Lambeau for this game, and a well-balanced offensive attack will be just too much for the Rams today.
And quick weather update. It's not forecasted to snow anymore. It is scheduled to be 36 degrees at kickoff, so that might be in favor of the Rams. But
Okay.
I know yesterday it was forecasted to snow, but still make a little bit of a difference.
How's that even a favor?
Well, it's not going to be snowing, at least.
But still, that's cold, man.
Well, that's
Rams-
cold, but
I
it
mean-
won't be snowing.
The Packers are used to playing in this cold weather
Of course,
deep
yeah.
into the season, and Rodgers says that, yeah, it's cold for him, but think about the opposing quarterback. Jared Goff's not used to playing in the cold, so that's an advantage.
His
think
thumb is going to be the question.
He has a ridiculous number actually playing in cold weather. His winning percentage. I forgot the number. I was looking at it up recently.
Walter, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be too much versatility offensively with the Packers for the Rams to handle it. The Rams are really, really good against the pass, but they haven't been really that great this year offensively, rushing the ball. Well, stopping the run, actually. You look at them offensively, they've given up close to 600 yards rushing in those 6 losses they have this season. And even in the wins, and there are 10 wins that they won, but actually, 11 games they won, counting the Seattle game last week, they've given up 600-yard games, even in those wins. And I do understand a lot of that rushing comes from the fact that teams really can't throw the ball on them. But if you look at Green Bay, they've got 4 games this season over 40, and they've got 8 games over 30 that they've been able to score. It's just too much versatility offensively, and I don't think the Rams will be able to catch up, period. So I will take the over, and I don't like the Rams to cover.
Kendall.
Whether it's snowing or they're playing in the sun or heat, we're in the desert. I'm going with the Rams. If somebody's Rams team I like, I think they're going to go into Green Bay. It's going to be a close game. They're going to win. I'm going another close game, just like last week. I'm going 28-24 Rams, and I think Cam Akers going to have a big day. Jared Goff, he'll make a couple catches. Couple big time throws down the field later on. I think the Cooper Kupp injury scares me. I don't think Kupp's going to play, so I'm kind of falling back on my pick a little bit, but I'm gonna stick with the Rams. I think Rams is gonna do a great job on Devontae Adams, so I think that's gonna be pretty good. It's gonna be a good matchup there. I look for the Rams to cover. I think they're going. I think at the end of the game, it's Rodgers throws a turnover, he throws an interception, and the Rams just take it.
All right. I'll take the Rams to cover the points, but I do think the Packers will win the game, and then I'll take the over on the points at 45.5. All right, tonight's game, Ravens at Bills. Isaac, what's the line on this one?
Bills Mafia comes in favored by 2.5 points. The over-under is 49.5 points. The Ravens are 11-6 against the spread this season, and the over has hit in 11 Bills games this year.
Wow.
What was the over again? Over under?
49.5.
Okay. Thank you. Jerry, what do you think?
Oof, man, I like the Bills here. I'm gonna go under. I don't think it's gonna be that high. I don't think it's gonna be a high scoring game. I think it's gonna be one of those slug it out kind of games.
Isaac.
I'm going the over again. It kind of scares me, but I have the Ravens winning this. I think it's going to be a great game. Josh Allen has turned this team into a juggernaut on offense. And Stephon Diggs, as we know, led the league in receiving. Cole Beasley, second-team All-Pro receiver. John Brown's still a great deep threat option. And the rookie, Gabriel Davis, seems to drag his feet just enough to catch every sideline pass. But they will have a tough task today. I think the trio of corners in Baltimore are the best trio of corners in this league right now, with Jimmy Smith, Marlon Humphrey, and Marcus Peters.
Yep.
Baltimore has finished the season ranked 6th against the pass. They also ranked 8th against the run, so they're stout all around. Something that Buffalo struggles to get going is the running game. The Ravens should be able to exploit Buffalo's weakness on the defensive side, which is stopping the run as well. So although Baltimore ranked last in the league in passing yards, they finished first in rushing with just over 190 rushing yards per game. And against Tennessee last week, we saw what they can do. They put 236 on the ground. I know, Walt, you thought they were going to have a big day on the ground, and they did. Both teams are one-dimensional when I look at them on offense. Buffalo can't run. Baltimore can't pass. But I trust the former MVP Lamar Jackson enough to lead this team to victory today. And his team's riding a 6-game winning streak, and he has the defense that can slow down Josh Allen and the Bills just enough.
Walter.
Yeah, I agree with everything Isaac said. I'm going with the Ravens. Number one rushing attack in the league. The Bills still can't stop the run. El Oliver still can't really help them up the middle that much. Funny thing is, though, when you look at this game, it's weird because the Bills have terrible red zone defense and the Ravens are terrible in the red zone offensively. So something has to – but the one key I believe in this game that I really haven't heard anyone comment on is Tremaine Edmonds. I think outside of Lamar Jackson, Edmonds is probably the best athlete on the field. So it comes down to what Buffalo decides to do. Do they want to spy Lamar Jackson with Tremaine Edmonds, which I think would be the logical thing to do? But if you spy him with Lamar Jackson, that pretty much erases everything else he can do on the field defensively. And that leaves pretty much everything open offensively for the Ravens, creativity-wise, to get the game going, running the ball. So I think the Ravens will run the ball well enough today. Play action will open up. Lamar will do what he does, which is make 2 to 3, maybe 4 key throws down the field, and I'm taking the Ravens. With the over.
I'm going Baltimore with the over. I'm going Baltimore. I think it's gonna be a pretty close game. I think the Ravens are a tough matchup for the Bills. We've seen this matchup last year. I know they didn't have Stephon Diggs, they didn't have a couple other pieces they had, but the Ravens matchup good with Buffalo. I don't think Buffalo wanted to see Baltimore. If I was hoping to see Pittsburgh or somebody else, somebody that they had already beat. I think the Diggs, I think he might have a pretty good day, but I just don't think it's gonna be enough. Like before big time throws. I think Lamar's gonna. Did y'all catch that in there?
No.
Yes, Lamar's gonna make a couple of those down the field. I think Hollywood Brown's gonna have a big game. I think Baltimore takes it in the end.
That's funny. I think that's a sign that's saying you shouldn't be rooting for this team, but it's okay. It's all good. And
I'm going to go with the Ravens as well. And I like the over in this game. And it will not be snowing. It was projected to snow there as well. And it looks like it's so tomorrow. So Lamar Jackson got his wish. Both very interesting games.
I think Josh is really going to have to earn it today. I think the Colts last week kind of handed them that win. In my opinion, the Colts had no business losing that game. So I think this week, and I agree with Isaac, if you look at Humphrey and you look at Jimmy Smith, they got big, tough, physical corners that they can throw at Stephon Diggs. We really don't expect Buffalo to be able to run the ball, given the fact that Calais is back and everything is pretty much shored up in the middle, Brandon Williams. if they're going to win today, Josh is going to have to really take that next step.
And I think we're going to see Lamar Jackson play a little bit more freely. Last week, he got his first playoff win in his career, so I think that's something else to take into consideration. But both games are going to be really great tonight, I feel like, so we'll see.
I think you could say that for both quarterbacks.
Yeah, Josh Allen too. All right, bold predictions presented by Thrive Fantasy. Make sure you use promo code EastWest when you sign up, and you'll receive an instant deposit match up to $50 on your first deposit of at least $20. Download the Thrive Fantasy app from the App Store, Google Play Store, or by visiting their website, thrivefantasy.com. All right, Jerry, let's start off with you. What's your bold prediction for today?
Aaron Rodgers, 300 yards, 3 TDs.
Isaac.
I think Baltimore tops 200 rushing yards again, and they take down the Bills.
Walter.
Okay, well, I've got the Packers holding the Rams under 230 yards offense.
Wow.
I like
That's
that.
bold. Kendall.
I got Robert Woods going for 10 catches and 200 yards.
That's
bold.
That's not going to happen, Kendall.
That's why it's bold.
Kendall loves
He's going to see a lot of Jair today.
That's it. I think that's the only person you can see today.
I know.
That's why it's bold. That's why it's bold, right?
That's bold. That's right.
That's
exactly.
It's extremely bold. I think he's allowed like what is it, like a 52% completion percentage?
I think the first.
Yeah, actually, what wasn't his better than Jalen?
Yeah, he's better than Jalen. 52% completion rate percentage. So that's insane.
Yeah. My bold prediction is the Ravens beat the Bills and Lamar Jackson throws for 3 touchdowns. Pretty bold.
Yeah.
All right. Lock to win presented by Lambs of God Clothing. Jerry, lock to win.
The Bills Mafia, baby. The Bills Mafia is going to freaking prove everybody wrong. I think that Josh Allen is going to prove that he is the true playmaker.
All right, Isaac.
Packers advance to the NFC Championship.
Oh, yeah.
Walter.
Same. I got the lock for the Packers.
Kendall.
Baltimore. They're gonna beat Buffalo, and Marcus Peters gonna lock up Stephon Diggs.
All right, and my lock to win is the Packers over the Rams. Before we get off, there is some coaching news that we want to get to. Yesterday, the Atlanta Falcons announced that Arthur Smith, former offensive coordinator of the Tennessee Titans, will be their next head coach. Let me get your guys' thoughts on that.
I mean, it's easy to see, right? I mean, the Titans have had a lot of success, especially on the offensive side. So obviously, we're gonna, expect something a little bit different. I don't know if they're gonna retain Matt Ryan, but if they do, you could see that they're all hands in on establishing a running game. So it'd be interesting to see. I mean, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna invest in more help on the offensive line and maybe a running back? So expect something totally different than what we've seen in Atlanta in previous times. Of course, it's going to take a year or two, but I would say we're going to see a bigger running game.
Isaac.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing is with Matt Ryan's status. Are they going to look to, eventually get rid of him, find someone new, or are they going to trust the 36-year-old for now? I like Arthur Smith. He's one of those guys that he looks like he's been deserved of a head coaching spot, just the way that he worked his way up in the Titans organization. But I'm kind of scared for them because, he did only have 1 year of offensive coordinating for the Tennessee Titans. Ryan Tannehill definitely looked like a better quarterback this season, but he already had the pieces there. They kind of had the same system as last year, so I don't know. I'm a little iffy on it, but I understand the hiring.
Walter.
Well, I'm extremely iffy on it. I really question the hire. I understand. We look at the success Derrick Henry's had since he's been in Tennessee. And as you guys said, Arthur's only been the offensive coordinator for 1 year. Now, we can go back to 2011 all the way to 2018, where he was an assistant head coach and he pretty much had his hands all over that offense. But even when we do look at 2011 to 2018, none of those Titan offenses were top half in the NFL. And now they were pretty much top half in the NFL rushing the ball, but they also had another superstar running back in Chris Johnson. So I really question how good he is and how much he's actually responsible for there in Tennessee, and how much of that was actually Ken Wisenhunt, also who was there at that time. So it feels like a bit of a reach to me. I think the Falcons honestly they may have been better off keeping Raheem Morris. I don't see this situation working because I'm real iffy on guys who just come up out of nowhere. You know, we didn't really hear Arthur Smith's name last offseason. We didn't hear it the offseason before. And now things are kind of actually started to come across as, well, we're just reaching and hiring some of these guys out of spite because there's certain guys we just don't want to hire. Whether it's Eric Bieniemy, whether it's Todd Bowles getting a second chance, whoever, I think there's more deserving guys out there than Arthur Smith. And we're kind of just people knock Eric Bieniemy for the success the Chiefs have had because, well, he had Andy Reid and he had Patrick Mahomes and he had this and he had that. Well, if we take a look at what Arthur Smith actually had in Tennessee, he had 2 Hall of Fame running backs. And none of those Titan offenses were even top half in NFL offensively during that time when he was there. So I think he's kind of getting credit that he doesn't deserve. He's getting credit by association. And I really don't see things working out in Atlanta. I could see him gone in another 2 years.
Wow. Kendall. Technical difficulties. We'll get back to Kendall here shortly. He's having some connection issues. Also, real quick, these
What are
Deshaun
your
Watson
thoughts, Fidel?
on Arthur Smith. I thought they were going to hire Eric Bieniemy. I really did. So, I mean, the one thing we should point out is that Derrick Henry is not going to, leave the Tennessee Titans and go with the Atlanta Falcons, which that was a huge, part of what the Titans did on offense. Yeah, so I don't know. To be determined, I guess you can say. We'll see how this works out. Also, too, another report came out this morning of Deshaun Watson wanting out. According to SI, Deshaun Watson has received support from many of his teammates to do what's best for himself amid trade rumors.
Go to Chicago.
I mean,
Oh, no. It's cold in Chicago.
This is the opportunity.
Go to San Francisco.
This is a good opportunity for the Texans to recover all their assets that they lost. I think at this point, you're just going to waste his talent for what? I mean, go ahead, get what you can. If you can get 2 first-round picks for him, get it. You know what I mean? Start your rebuild now. If you could get a second rounder also, do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, it's best if both parties just part ways and they go their separate ways. I think the only way the Texans and the Deshaun work out is if Eric Bieniemy is hired after the season. That's the only way I can see this being saved.
I agree.
You think any of this could have been avoided, though?
Of
if
course.
like maybe Bill O'Brien was fired 2 years ago?
Well, I mean, not only that, but you have to take into consideration what your franchise quarterback wants. Even if you don't want to hire that person, you still have to take him into consideration. Just like in any relationship, you have to take both parties into consideration. I think Houston really dropped the ball. But look, if you're Nick Caserio, I think it's just best to start fresh. Get draft picks back that you can.
I think they've really abused maybe too harsh of a word. They've really neglected Deshaun Watson, and it happens a lot with star quarterbacks, especially star mobile quarterbacks. Whether it's Rodgers, it's Watson, teams have a tendency to just lean on your athletic ability and your ability to reshape the pocket and avoid sacks and make magic happen, and they never take care of it. If you look at Houston, they never gave him a legit running game after Arian Foster left. They never gave him a legit guy at the tight end position. They never gave him a legit offensive line. You traded his best friend and his best offensive weapon last offseason, which rubbed him completely badly. And you have no picks. They completely neglected him. And I just hate seeing when teams do that. If Deshaun Watson was a statue in the pocket, they would have taken way better care of him. I just believe.
Isaac, what do you think?
Well, I said it last week, and Walt already touched on the neglect of it. It's not like he even asked, "Hey, I'd like to be a part of the decisions of the new GM." They told him, they're like, "Hey, you're going to have a part in this," and then he finds out the same way that he finds out that his receiver's gone on social media. I just think they've neglected him, like Walt said, and if I were him, I'd want out too.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Deshaun Watson. Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, I think it's just best that Bill Parks just separate and he gets traded somewhere. And if you're the Texans, it might not be the worst thing. You'll get some draft picks back and also some salary cap. Also, Seattle Seahawks have talked to Doug Peterson about their offensive coordinator position. Early in the week, we saw them part ways with Brian Schottenheimer, even after a record-breaking offensive performance by the Seattle Seahawks. Thoughts on this?
I think it's kind of like a broken tune for me.
Yeah. And I think it's important to note that reports came out that Russell Wilson did not want the change at offensive coordinator to happen. So,
I mean, nothing will matter until they actually get him real protection, like real offensive line. So it doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
A real offense in general. It
Yeah,
can't just be Russell bouncing around in the pocket and patting the ball and making big plays downfield to lock it. They need a legitimate, offense, and they just haven't done that for him.
yeah. Not to mention, right, like you said. I mean, let's expand that a little bit. Even with the running backs, Chris Carson goes down. Now you're going to,
And so,
I mean, you're going to like a third string running back. I mean, what kind of productivity you're gonna expect out of him?
well,
yeah,
you know what? I don't believe that the Jamal Adams trade was really necessary. And what they gave up, what, 2 first-round picks for Jamal?
Yeah,
and a third, I think.
yeah. That's
Uh,
your third. That's too much, but shoot, he fits the defense though.
for a safety, is too much. For a box safety, is too much.
That's true.
I think the same is going to be very improved next year. Also, Bills offensive coordinator Brian DeBall has emerged as favorite to land the Los Angeles Chargers head coaching vacancy.
It's that homeboy hookup, man. That's what they call it down here in Texas. That homeboy hookup. I think there's ties to the general manager and Brian DeBall. I think they actually graduated high school together. So um, they're gonna they made it work, man. They followed all the rules, and I think it's a perfect fit. The guy's worked under Bill Belichick. I don't know if people know this. His offense is designed to get that ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly, which I think should help out in the meantime while they're rebuilding that offensive line for Justin Herbert. That'd be good. It would be a good pairing.
And I mean, Walter, real quick, we got to talk about your line. So Detroit has identified that Saints assistant head coach as favorite for the head coaching vacancy and Dan Campbell. What do you think?
Well, I'm okay with it. The Lions have a tendency to, when they fail with one type of coach, the pendulum it just sways completely the other way. So they went and got the complete anti Matt Patricia, and they went and got the complete anti Bob Quinn as far as the GM. But well, look, when I look at Dan Campbell, Dan was actually on that 0-16 team 12 years ago for the Lions. Dan has always been liked wherever he's been. He was liked as a player when he was here. We go back to Miami when he was in there for that 1 year. They took over as interim head coach when Philbin stepped down. That team went 5-7, but that team still played extremely hard for him. The statistics may not show it, but that Dolphins team played extremely hard for him, and there were players on that team that wanted him to remain as head coach. So he left Miami. He went over to New Orleans. He's been pretty much Sean Payton's right-hand man for the last handful of years. He's been groomed for this moment. And a lot of people here are worried about the X's and O's, but like I said, he's been groomed by Sean Payton. He's been his assistant head coach, also the tight ends head coach for the last handful of years. And I'm all about giving the guy a chance. I like Dan Campbell. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. As Lions fans, we're used to things not working out, but you can't just sit there and stay stagnant and stick with something that's not working. So far, I'm all for the hire.
He was a former Dallas Cowboy tight end too, right?
Mm-hmm. Play for the Giants as well.
Yeah. So he's had a lot of mentors. I think.
Yeah. Chris Spielman. Spielman vouched for him. Spielman's been his mentor for a very long time, so I think that probably had a little to do with him getting the job here too. But I believe Dan's earned it, so I'm all for it right now until they prove me otherwise.
All right, guys. Any final thoughts before we end today's show?
I just want to say thank you to everybody who's continued, support and help and tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in. Big shout out to my sister, ambitionmate.com. Guys, go check her out there at 5x5. Other than that, thank you. Have a good weekend. Be safe.
Walter.
How much do we think the weather could factor in to this Rams and Packers game? I think because it's getting cold. We don't know about golf. We don't know about golf with a healthy thumb, let alone a hurt. So I'm real concerned about those Rams and that weather. I think the defense is going to show up and do the best they can. I just don't think the offense will be able to catch up today.
Isaac, any final thoughts?
I could just see Green Bay running away with this. The cold factor is going to play into effect. I know the Rams turned up the AC in practice all week, but it's hard to, practice in a game feeling where you feel like you're actually in the cold. The Rams don't go over the cold side much. Rodgers plays excellent in the cold. I could see them running away with this. That's why I think they're going to win by double digits. I'm more excited about that Ravens game. I think that's just going to be a battle. I want to see Josh Allen take on that great defense. I want to see Lamar take the next step. That's it. It's going to be an exciting weekend.
Yeah, for sure.
And a couple quick reminders.
Just to piggyback off what Isaac had just said also, I think if you look at Green Bay, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is the type of quarterback where if you take away his favorite guy, he's just going to blow a gasket and not know what to do. Aaron will find other guys.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's something else to pay a key factor to. And they're not going to just line Devontae up on the outside and say, hey, play one-on-one with Jalen Ramsey all day. That's not going to happen. They're going to bounce Devontae around a lot. He's going to get a lot of short releases, and they're going to figure out a way to get him open.
Yeah, I think today we're going to see a big dosage of A.J. Dillon. I really do. A couple quick reminders. Tomorrow we'll be back on at the same time. Jerry, what day and time are you doing the draft show?
Right now we're doing Tuesdays and Thursdays.
At what time?
7 p.m. Central Time, so 8 p.m. Eastern.
All right. If you guys haven't checked that out, make sure you do. The guys have some really great content. And with that being said, thank you everyone for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Go Bills Mafia.